Number 1. The mask of the deceiver. A deceiver never walks toward you with a knife in his hand. He approaches with a smile so polished it blinds you. Niccolo Machiavelli warned that most people are not who they claim to be, and the man who survives is the one who learns to see beyond faces, beyond words, beyond charm. Listen carefully. Deception is not an accident. It is a strategy. A deceiver studies you. He learns your weaknesses, your hopes, your wounds, your desperation for trust. Then he weaponizes them. He pretends to be harmless because the wolf understands the value of sheep's clothing. But Machiavelli's dark psychology reveals something deeper. Every deceiver leaves cracks in their mask. They praise you too quickly. They agree too easily. They show emotions that feel rehearsed. They appear exactly when you need them, because manufactured loyalty is the strongest drug for manipulation. And if you feel drawn to someone too fast, understand this. Attraction without reason is often the first sign of a trap. Machiavelli teaches that power belongs to the one who verifies, not the one who believes. So slow down. Observe. Make silence your first weapon. People reveal the most when you give them nothing to read. Watch how they react when they don't get your approval. Watch how they behave when you refuse to share your weaknesses. A deceiver feels threatened by your emotional independence. He panics when he cannot predict you. Remember this: you cannot stop deception in the world, but you can make yourself impossible to deceive. The first step is learning to see the mask. The second is refusing to be impressed by it. You're here to become untouchable, and that starts now. If you're ready for the next layer of Machiavelli's truth, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 2. The psychology of hidden intentions. Every deceiver operates with a single hidden engine: intent. Not the intent they show you, but the intent they conceal beneath carefully controlled expressions and strategically chosen words. Machiavelli understood that human beings rarely act without self-interest, and the most dangerous ones hide their motives behind the illusion of kindness. They give you compliments, but their eyes measure you. They offer help, but their minds calculate return. They pretend to admire you, but only to lower your guard inch by inch. Dark psychology teaches that intention leaks through micro-behaviors long before it appears through action. Listen to their inconsistencies. The stories that shift slightly each time they speak. The laughter that doesn't reach their eyes. The apologies that sound like performance. The sudden intensity of their concern for your life when they barely know you. A deceiver always moves fast because manipulation thrives on momentum. Slow the tempo, and you force them to reveal impatience. Machiavelli warned that a man's true nature is exposed when he wants something urgently. So create pressure through silence. Create confusion through calmness. When someone expects you to react, don't. When they want your emotional response, give them indifference. When they try to pull you into their world, stay rooted in your own. A deceiver cannot manipulate a mind that refuses to dance to his rhythm. Your emotional stillness becomes a mirror, and people with hidden intentions hate mirrors because mirrors reflect truth. So watch them flinch when you ask simple, clarifying questions. Watch their tone tighten when you stay neutral. Watch how hard they try to convince you they're trustworthy. Remember, real loyalty does not need advertising. You are learning to see the architecture behind manipulation, the invisible blueprint of deception. If you're ready for the next Machiavellian layer, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 3. The power of emotional distance. A deceiver's greatest weapon is not the lie, it is your emotional hunger. Machiavelli understood that the easiest person to deceive is the one who wants to believe. People fall for manipulation not because the deceiver is brilliant, but because they themselves are vulnerable to flattery, validation, companionship, or the illusion of connection. So if you want to become untouchable, you must master the art of emotional distance. Not coldness, control. There is a difference. Emotional distance means you give people access to your presence, not your inner world. You listen, but you don't confess. You observe, but you don't absorb. You allow conversation, but you never allow dependence. The deceiver hunts for emotional openings, your insecurities, your need for reassurance, your desire to be understood. Close these gates and you starve manipulation at its source. Dark psychology shows that the more self-contained you are, the more chaotic the deceiver becomes. They will try to provoke you into revealing your vulnerabilities. They will pretend to open up emotionally so you feel obligated to do the same. They may even act offended when you remain composed. Ignore it. Silence is your shield. Indifference is your armor. Machiavelli taught that a ruler must appear approachable, yet remain internally untouchable. This applies to you as well. Let people enjoy the surface, but guard the depths. When someone tries to rush emotional intimacy, treat it as a warning bell. When they insist on knowing your weaknesses, close the door. A deceiver wants your heart confused and your mind distracted. Emotional distance keeps both sharp. This is how you create psychological territory they cannot cross. This is how you become someone who cannot be played. If you're ready for the next Machiavellian layer, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 4. The tells of a manipulator. A deceiver can hide his words, but he cannot hide his patterns. Machiavelli believed that human behavior repeats itself like a quiet rhythm beneath the noise. And once you learn that rhythm, you see the fraud before the fraud sees you. A manipulator always reveals himself in the gaps, the small details he assumes you won't notice. He over-explains simple things. He avoids direct answers to direct questions. He uses emotional language to mask logical inconsistencies. And when cornered, he shifts blame so smoothly that the inexperienced mind thinks he is the victim. Watch how he reacts to boundaries. A deceiver hates limitations. He pushes, tests, probes, trying to see how far he can reach into your life. Say no once and his mask cracks. His tone changes. His charm trembles. His eyes flicker with irritation. That's the real him, and that is your proof. Dark psychology teaches that manipulators rely on emotional shortcuts, guilt-tripping, exaggerated affection, dramatic vulnerability, and sudden distance when they don't get what they want. These tactics are not random. They are pressure points designed to unbalance you. But here is the truth Machiavelli understood. The one who stays calm always wins. So observe without reacting. Study without responding. When someone becomes defensive over small matters, you've hit a truth. When someone tries to control your perception of others, they're hiding something. When someone rushes closeness, they're constructing a trap. A deceiver manipulates because he assumes you are blind. So become the one thing he fears: aware. Once you learn these tells, the manipulator becomes transparent, predictable, and powerless. This is how you build the eyes of a strategist, not a victim. If you're ready for the next Machiavellian layer, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 5. The strength of strategic silence. Silence is the one language a deceiver cannot speak. Machiavelli understood that people reveal more when they're trying to fill a void, and strategic silence turns that void into a battlefield. When you stop talking, the deceiver starts thinking, and that is where their cracks widen. A manipulator thrives when you over-explain, justify, or defend yourself. It gives them material to twist. But silence deprives them of ammunition. It forces them to scramble, to guess your thoughts, to expose their intentions through their reactions. Watch how quickly they grow uncomfortable. They'll repeat themselves. They'll overshare. They'll try to pull you into emotional conversations you didn't ask for. They'll insist that you trust them simply because your silence makes them feel unseen. This discomfort is your advantage. Dark psychology teaches that the quiet observer controls the frame of the interaction. When you choose silence, you choose power. It shows you're not desperate for approval. It shows you're not addicted to validation. It shows you're not intimidated by tension. And that threatens the deceiver more than anything. They need your emotional engagement to anchor their manipulation. Without it, their tactics collapse. So use silence to test people. Hold your reactions back. Let them sit in the uncomfortable pause. Let them explain what needs no explanation. Let them reveal intentions they meant to hide. Strategic silence also protects you from revealing your plans, your vulnerabilities, your values. Machiavelli said, "A wise man hides his heart, but watches the hearts of others." Silence makes this possible. When you stop feeding the deceiver with your emotions, he loses his map to navigate you. Confusion becomes his downfall. Clarity becomes your weapon. This is how you shift the power dynamic without speaking a single word. If you're ready for the next Machiavellian layer, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 6. The power of watching without being seen. A deceiver believes he is hunting you, but the real power begins when you flip the dynamic, when you begin watching him without letting him know he's being observed. Machiavelli mastered this art, the ability to study a man so deeply that his intentions become obvious long before he acts. You must learn to see people the way a strategist sees a battlefield. Every gesture a signal, every word a clue, every reaction a confession. Watch the small things, how their eyes shift when they lie, how their tone tightens when questioned, how they change their behavior depending on who is in the room. A deceiver tailors himself to the audience. He becomes a different person for every situation because he has no stable identity. That inconsistency is his weakness. Dark psychology teaches that people with hidden motives cannot maintain their mask under continuous observation. It exhausts them. So be quietly present, be calmly attentive, don't confront, just collect. People reveal everything when they don't feel threatened. They joke about things they secretly desire. They insult people they're jealous of. They criticize qualities they wish they had. They slip, and when they slip, you store that information. Machiavelli wrote that the wise man sees from afar what the foolish man discovers too late. So don't wait for betrayal to strike. Detect it in the way someone celebrates your failure more intensely than your success. Detect it in the way they talk sweetly to your face, but subtly undermine your confidence. Detect it in the way they want access to your life without offering loyalty in return. When you watch people without revealing your awareness, you remove their power and sharpen your own. You stop being the hunted and become the unseen observer, the one who cannot be fooled, moved, or misled. If you're ready for the next Machiavellian layer, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 7. How deceivers use your strengths against you. A deceiver doesn't only target your weaknesses, he targets your strengths, because strong people are easier to manipulate than they realize. Machiavelli understood this brutal truth. The qualities you're most proud of can become the very blades turned against you. If you're loyal, they exploit your consistency. If you're compassionate, they exploit your empathy. If you're ambitious, they exploit your hunger. If you're honest, they exploit your transparency. A deceiver studies your virtues like a blueprint, then designs a trap tailored perfectly to you. Dark psychology reveals that manipulation rarely attacks where you are weak. It attacks where you are confident. That's why flattery is one of the oldest weapons. It disarms the strong. When someone praises your intelligence too aggressively, question it. When they admire your character too quickly, slow down. When they show interest in your dreams before they know you, step back. These are not compliments, they are probes. A deceiver tests how much access your pride allows him. They want to see how easily your strengths can blind you. But here is the Machiavellian shift. Once you become aware of this pattern, your strengths stop being openings and become armor. Loyalty becomes selective. Compassion becomes measured. Ambition becomes private. Honesty becomes strategic. Instead of showing your qualities openly, you control when, where, and to whom they appear. This creates unpredictability, and unpredictability terrifies the deceiver. He cannot craft a plan around someone he cannot calculate. When you guard your strengths, you become someone who cannot be exploited, manipulated, or emotionally engineered. You become the type of person Machiavelli admired. Powerful, not because of force, but because of awareness. And awareness makes you untouchable. If you're ready for the next Machiavellian layer, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 8. The art of letting people expose themselves. A deceiver works endlessly to expose you. But the greatest reversal of power is making him expose himself without realizing it. Machiavelli understood that you never need to confront a liar directly. You simply create conditions where the truth collapses out of him. Give a deceiver just enough freedom, and he will reveal his intentions. Give him just enough rope, and he will hang his own schemes. Dark psychology teaches that people with hidden motives can't maintain their performance when they feel unchallenged. So don't accuse, don't question aggressively, don't warn them that you see the cracks. Instead, act neutral, calm, unbothered. Then observe how they panic in the silence of your indifference. Ask small, innocent questions that force them to explain details they never planned for. Change the topic suddenly and watch their reaction. Bring up another person's name and see how defensive they become. Mention a scenario where honesty is required and study their micro-expressions. You are not interrogating. You are watching a performance slowly fall apart under the weight of its own contradictions. A deceiver expects resistance. He does not expect psychological softness. And when he feels safe, he becomes sloppy. He says things he shouldn't. He contradicts himself. He reveals bitterness, envy, or hidden agendas in casual conversation. Machiavelli knew that the mind reveals itself most clearly when it's comfortable, not when it's threatened. So create comfort. Let the deceiver speak freely. Let him believe he's smarter than you. Let him underestimate you. Because underestimation is the soil where truth grows. The more he relaxes, the more transparent he becomes. This is psychological judo. You use their own momentum to expose them. You don't fight the lie. You let the liar destroy the lie on his own. If you're ready for the next Machiavellian layer, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Number 9. The moment the mask finally breaks. There comes a point where every deceiver reaches his limit, a moment when the mask he's been tightening for weeks, months, sometimes years, finally cracks. Machiavelli understood that no man can hide his nature forever. Pressure always exposes truth, and the deceiver lives under constant pressure. The pressure to pretend, to maintain a persona, to manipulate outcomes, to keep every lie aligned perfectly. You don't need to attack him to break the mask. You only need to remain consistent while he exhausts himself. Watch for the moment he slips, when his tone shifts from charm to irritation the instant he doesn't get what he wants, when he overreacts to small boundaries, when his eyes reveal anger he can't explain, when he suddenly becomes cold, distant, or accusing because your independence threatens his control. Dark psychology teaches that manipulators cannot tolerate unpredictability. They need you to stay inside their script. But when you step outside that script, even slightly, their mask fractures. They reveal jealousy, entitlement, desperation, or hidden resentment they've been hiding all along. This is the truth behind the mask. Deception is fragile. It only works when you play along. The moment you become calm, observant, and emotionally untouchable, the deceiver begins to unravel. And once the mask cracks, it shatters, because the real self underneath is unstable, insecure, hungry for control. Machiavelli warned that the greatest power is seeing a man as he truly is, not as he pretends to be. When the mask breaks, you gain that power. You see the intentions he hid. You hear the lies he polished. You understand the motives he denied. And most importantly, you walk away without a scratch, because awareness becomes your armor. If you're ready for the final Machiavellian layer, like the video, subscribe and turn on notifications. Number 10. Becoming the one they cannot deceive. In the end, the goal is not to expose every deceiver. The world is full of them, and chasing each one is a fool's mission. Machiavelli would tell you that true power lies in becoming someone who cannot be deceived, someone whose mind is too sharp, whose emotions are too disciplined, and whose presence is too controlled to be manipulated. This is the final transformation. You stop reacting and start calculating. You stop trusting words and start observing patterns. You stop giving people the benefit of the doubt and start giving them the opportunity to reveal themselves. You learn to value distance over attachment, clarity over comfort, truth over illusions. You don't fear deception anymore because you've learned to see it coming long before it reaches you. Dark psychology teaches that manipulators only thrive where there is insecurity, naivety, or emotional need. Remove these, and the deceiver has nothing to hold on to. You become unreadable, not because you hide, but because you are whole. You become unpredictable, not because you are chaotic, but because you are independent. You become unmanipulable, not because you are cold, but because you are aware. Machiavelli believed that a powerful mind is a fortress, and now you understand why. No one conquers a fortress that watches every gate. You have learned the masks, the intentions, the tells, the cracks, the collapses. You have learned to use silence, observation, and discipline as weapons. And with this awareness, you rise above deceit itself. You do not fear the deceiver. The deceiver fears you. This is the psychology of becoming untouchable. This is the armor of the awakened. This is the power Machiavelli wanted you to master. If this journey opened your eyes, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what comes next.